recently finished When We Burn by Kristen Proby, performed in Jewel by Erin, Mallon and Sean Masters. This book is so multifaceted in what we get and the emotions that we feel. So going in, like, this is book one of a new series, though I never said it wrong, the Blackwells of Montana, and we had met Bridget and Danny previously in books in the Wilds of Montana, specifically Holden's book, the last book of that series. And so going in, we know a little bit about Danny's background, about the friendship that Bridget has with Holden, and so we already knew we were going to get that, you know, brothers, best friends, friends to lovers, past trauma, the feels. So Bridget is a firefighter. He's done waiting. I loved the inclusion of the fact that they have been in love with each other for years, since they were kids. But she, you know, she shot a shot. She went for it, and he was like, absolutely not. You are a child. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you. And I am not a child. Although, I mean, you want a man, but you also, he knew where the scale was. But now they are both adults. She's back and they're neighbours. She lives across the road. And he's just like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm claiming this woman. Nobody else is having her. She is mine. And he's a single dad, and we get the emotion of why did some other woman get to give him a child? Like, all of the feels. But watching and listening and being immersed in the story of them reconnecting, of them falling hard and fast. Although, is it fast? I mean, I would still say it's fast in, you know, once they say, like, this is happening, there's no going back. And it just filled my heart with so much happiness. That Danny is the kindergarten teacher for Edge's daughter, and that seeing that bond and that connection, and how she turns into like a feral mama bear, and it was delicious. Let me tell you, as an adoptive parent, there is nothing I can connect with more than somebody going mama bear on a child that they did not conceive and carry. Don't even. You know what I'm saying? I will fight. I will claw eyes out. And that was Danny, and I felt seen. I felt seen. And just the way they love one another, the way Bridget loves it. Did I mention he's a firefighter? I can't remember because my memory doesn't work that way. Not anymore. But he's a firefighter. And he's out there fighting fires. Somebody is burning his town down. Anywho. Then we're all excited and we have past characters come from different books and different series you might have read. I've not read them all, so I think it makes you go, you know what? I want to go read about that story now, which I love. I kind of like little Easter eggs. But then I can't talk about it. But let's just say there is drama. And the way they handle it, it is just so delicious. Not to mention, because don't think this is all light-hearted and fun. No, it's not. I mean, it's super fucking sexy, but there's drama, man. There is drama. Through all of this, Danny and her family are overcoming their traumatic past, their traumatic childhood. So, while we're talking about that, let's talk about some potentially triggering information. If you don't like that, look, I'm only going to talk about the narration next, which you probably want to stay around for, but you can speed me up. It's fine, just skip ahead. Anywho, so, yes, this is a bit unhinged. This is me, just deal. So, triggering content. So, throughout the book, we have the little one, and I know I'm calling little one because the name has completely left my memory, who we know from previous books in the wilds that she has been sick and no one has been able to figure out why she is sick. And that is obviously a part of this story as well, so childhood illness. What I will say is it took Danny being Mama Bear to diagnose this child. Are you joking me? The medical professional. Oh, I didn't think to check for that. I was ready to throw down. As a Mama Bear that has to fight for her child to get medical professionals to listen. There was a lot of swearing involved, just saying. Also, if you have done Holder's book, you know that their father was an evil, sadistic, abusive piece of work. And we do get, thinking about what he did, we get in the prologue a real time, him traumatizing his children. So just go in. Obviously, after the prologue, it's spoken about in past, but it is something to be aware of if that is triggering for you. He's a firefighter. There are fires. If fire is triggering for you, something to be aware of. Parents that don't love their children and put monetary value on their children, if that is triggering for you, something to be aware of. So now, let's talk about the audiobook narration. So this is a dual narration. Erin Mallon and Sean Masters. Look, when I heard that, I was like, praise the heavens, we are getting Erin Mallon's male voice. Look, I just love it. But then, my second thought was, holy shit, that is a good matchup. Because, you know, Erin's man voice does have that deeper sound to it. And Sean has a deeper sounding voice. I've said this before, if you like Aidan Snow's sound, you will love Sean Masters. They have that very distinct sound. They're not the same, but they're very similar in a lot of ways. And so I was like, this is a great matchup. And I stand by that. It was fantastic. Erin's scenes, I joked about this because Erin is like one of the sweetest people you're ever going to meet. And her performing Danny, when she's in this like, Mama Bear, I'm going to scratch her eyes out, was just so funny to me, but also charming, because that performance of that, and you're like, you know what, I can see it, and dealing with the trauma element and the performance of that. And it is one of the, I did really well not getting upset with this book until there is a moment where the siblings are talking, Danny and her siblings, and about what they've experienced and how the trauma is affecting them and trying to move past that. And it was just so so difficult to kind of be in that headspace, and I don't know how the narrators did it to separate that, because that is the part that made me cry. But anyway, back to Erin. The vulnerabilities of this character due to her experience. Just go back to the triggers one more time. I know. Drowning. That is a trigger for me, and I was unsure going in how that was going to impact me, because I had been pre-warned. I was okay, but I very much understood some of the things that Danny struggled with, although our situations were very different. So yes, the vulnerabilities of Danny, I think, shine through in this book with Erin's performance of them. It was just phenomenal. Now, Sean Masters as Bridger was such a great idea. You get this swoony, firefighting, having these glorious daddy-daughter moments, and also the, you know, I'm the big firefighting chief. I'm gonna do this, you know, I'm gonna be in charge. I'm gonna protect everybody. But then there's moments where he's just like, what is happening? I was like, feel you, dude, feel ya. I just thought Sean did a really fantastic job of conveying the different elements to Bridger, and production was fantastic. Honestly, somebody had asked me where they should start with Kristen Proby's books, and she has a huge catalogue. This is book 1 of a new series. This is a perfect place to start. But if you're like, well, I don't want to just do one book, The Wilds of Montana is finished. It's 5 books, which tie into this series. So you could do that. Do those, get a feel for the style, their new releases, enjoy them, and then just go back. Kristen also does a great job on Audible now. I don't know about any other platform, I'm sorry, of combining books with the same sort of theme. So a single dad box set, maybe a suspense box set, which will have different books in it that you could listen to for one credit for like 4 or 5 books. You can listen to it and be like, oh, I love that style, or I love those characters, or the side characters, I want to know more, and then go and find the rest of them. So that is something to check out as well. But I definitely think this is a great place to start, and go and listen to this book. It is fan-freaking-tastic.